Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. If you're feeling confused about where you stand with the guy in your life, stick around. We're diving deep into 18 critical signs that a man doesn't care about you, and by the end, you'll have the clarity you need to take action. Let's jump right in. 1. You feel like you are never his priority. If you're constantly feeling like an afterthought, it's a red flag. When a man cares, he makes time for you, no matter how busy life gets. But if you're always competing with his friends, hobbies, or even work, it may mean you're not a priority in his life. 2. The relationship is always focused on sex. A relationship that revolves solely around physical intimacy without emotional connection is often a sign he doesn't truly care about you. When a man is invested in more than just the physical aspects, he will want to bond emotionally and mentally as well. But if it's only about sex, his priorities might be misplaced. 3. He acts distant and uninterested. If he's emotionally checked out or constantly distracted when you're together, that's a major warning sign. Caring partners engage, they listen, and they show interest in what matters to you. When he acts indifferent, it speaks volumes about his level of care. 4. You feel like you're always chasing him. Are you the one initiating calls, texts, and plans? If you're constantly in pursuit and he's pulling away, it's a clear indication that his feelings don't match yours. In a healthy relationship, both partners put in the effort to stay connected. 5. He never asks about how you're doing. A man who cares will naturally want to know how you're feeling and what's happening in your life. If he rarely checks in or asks about your day, it shows he's not invested in your emotional well being. This lack of curiosity can be a strong indicator that he's not truly concerned. 6. He doesn't notice when you're upset. When a man cares, he can sense when something is off and will make an effort to comfort you. But if your sadness or frustration goes unnoticed, or worse, ignored, it's a clear sign that he's not emotionally attuned to you, and that's a major problem. 7. You feel uncomfortable when you're with him. Feeling uneasy or anxious in his presence could be a result of his lack of care. When someone genuinely cares about you, their presence feels comforting and safe. If you feel the opposite, it's time to reevaluate the relationship. 8. You don't have meaningful conversations. Meaningful conversations are the backbone of any strong relationship. If you're not discussing your thoughts, dreams, or emotions, it indicates a lack of depth in your connection. A man who doesn't care won't put in the effort to truly understand you. 9. He forgets what you say. If he often forgets important things you've shared, it shows he's not paying attention. When a guy cares, he remembers the little details because he's listening and invested in your life. This kind of neglect can hurt and shows where his priorities lie. 10. You feel lonely even when you're together. Loneliness in a relationship is one of the clearest signs that he doesn't care. If you feel emotionally disconnected despite being physically together, it means the emotional bond is lacking and he's not putting in the effort to bridge that gap. 11. There's no discussion about a future together. A man who cares will naturally want to talk about where the relationship is going. If he's avoiding any conversations about the future or making plans with you, it could mean he's not invested long term, and that's something to seriously consider. 12. He openly flirts with other women. Disrespecting you by flirting with other women in front of you shows a blatant lack of care. If he isn't concerned about how his behavior affects you, it's a red flag that his feelings aren't as serious as you may think. 13. He makes no effort to show he cares. Caring actions don't always have to be grand gestures, but they do need to exist. If he's not going out of his way to show you that he values and appreciates you, it's a strong sign that he may not care enough to make an effort. 14. He blames you for everything. If every disagreement ends with him pointing the finger at you, that's a toxic behavior. When someone truly cares, they take responsibility for their actions. Constant blame shifting shows a lack of respect and care for your feelings. 15. He doesn't include you in decisions. When a man doesn't care about you, he'll make decisions without considering your input or feelings. If you're left out of important decisions, whether small or big, it signals that he's not factoring you into his life. 16. You haven't met his family or friends. Meeting the people closest to him is a big step in any relationship. If he hasn't introduced you to his family or friends, it could be a sign that he's not serious about you or the relationship, and that he's not as invested as you may hope. 17. He never does anything thoughtful for you. Thoughtfulness is a key indicator of care. If he never does small, thoughtful gestures to make you feel special, it may suggest he's not putting in the emotional investment a caring partner would. 18. You are always the one reaching out first. Constantly being the one to initiate contact is exhausting, and it shouldn't be that way in a balanced relationship. If he's not making an effort to communicate or reach out, it's a major sign that he's not as interested or invested as you deserve. Now that you've heard these 18 signs, it's time to take a step back and assess whether you're in a relationship where you're valued. Don't settle for someone who doesn't show you the care and respect you deserve. If you recognized many of these signs, it may be time to rethink your situation and put yourself first.